Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
Hello, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This is episode BD. It is 0xbd, the 191st episode. Reminder, nothing on the show is financial advice, and stay tuned after the updates for a 3-question AMA. In the new current events segment, UBS acquires Credit Suisse. So all the banks are going belly up and or getting acquired. All the big ones are going to buy smaller ones, even though it's Credit Suisse is kind of big. But either way, everything's falling apart. So that's in the news. Okay, now we go to Dragonchain updates. So first off, Super Happy Dragon Lucky distribution from last week of NFT of lot. Last week's episode created 588 lot. There were 3 questions or topics for 73 lot each. There was no featured post. There was 1 current event for 73 lot, and the host received 73 lot, and Dragonchain received 221 lot. Okay. Also, Dragonchain, there is a new blog posted on Web3 Business Solutions. It's interesting because we've actually heard from a few different groups that businesses are beginning to inquire about Web3. So this is there for them, essentially kind of explaining what it is, high level, how it could be applicable to a normal business, brick and mortar or online, but not something that is purely a blockchain concern. And the main important things about it are security, the ability for a user to actually use it, grandma safe, user-friendly interfaces, that it is sustainable, which might matter sometimes, and that it's interoperable and scalable, which is probably the most important thing, and I think where Dragonchain has most of the other platforms beat. So anyway, go check that out, go share it, give it to people that it might be important to them to read it. Next, we move on to Den.Social updates. And the first up is just this morning, the March 2023 LCP results are in. The number 1 proposal by unique voter count with 2.6 million lore committed. So that's 2.6 million NFTs that will be created. And 40 unique voters was military equipment proposed by Vujmilo in April of 2022. So it's almost full year, right? The number 8 in lore committed will be created with 1.1 million lore, and 23 unique voters was Change My View, proposed by Greg Lang, also megatexas.eth, in September of 2022. And the number 21 proposal, as ranked by lore committed, had 521.7 thousand lore committed, and 8 unique voters was the Umbrella Promise Movement, proposed by I Am for I Am in March of 2023. So very that was a brand new one. So interesting, very good stuff. So pay attention. Those will be created sometime this week, and everyone will automatically by vote of the DAO, everyone will automatically be subscribed to them. So you don't need to go in and subscribe to them. But once they are created, I would like to suggest people go in and either make proposals for the branding, the banners, and descriptions, and some of the beginning stuff in those layers, and also to vote on any of the proposals that do pop up. So it's always useful to get that stuff moving quickly so people can start using those community boards. Anyway, next up, Leaderboard's update. We wanted to point out 2 pieces of content. That there was a leaderboard post on evaluators and taggers. See if we can show that. I don't see it. There we go. Go through and read that. There's a lot of interesting info for one. A lot of good insight can be had because it's the very beginning of what will become the official leaderboard. And Distant has said that he might even post these regularly until we have until we know that we're getting the right metrics, and then we can make them permanent. And then there was a second, which was another leaderboard update on DIN activity and lot rot, kind of tracking the actual layers and whether the lot was being used or not. So interesting stuff. Go check both those out. Go share them around, and specifically, give feedback on them. If you see something missing, or if you see something that there might be a better way to score it, weigh in there, because that's the intent of those posts, and that's what's needed to improve the numbers. So anyway, go check those out. Also, Coffee with Den update will air tomorrow at 0900 Eastern Daylight, 1300 UTC. Everyone who participates in the show will earn Coffee with Den lot, and the topic this week is the March 2023 LCP. So they'll go through the winners and maybe even some of the runners up on the potential that people might want to create or use some of those other options to create the layers that are in there, the runners up layer options and the over 8 layer options. So anyway, interesting stuff, and it's useful for a watch on that. Next, we do DENDAO updates. The weekly DENDAO call is this Thursday, March 23 at 1500 Eastern Daylight, 1900 UTC. Make sure you watch for the post in the DENDAO layer for the agenda and the link to join live, where on that post you also can make replies to add to the agenda, to get questions answered, to maybe bring up a topic that you want to come on to discuss. And everyone's welcome to join. No need to turn your camera on. First come, first serve. I think we can hold up to 8. It's either 6 or 8 people, I can't remember, on the show. So anyway, take part if you can. You do have the opportunity to weigh in and get some real things changed or votes to really happen in DENDAO. Next, we move on to the World Blockchain Roundtable update. So watch and share last week's episode, which was on the topic blockchain for restaurants. The more views it gets first week, the more all participants will get. And episode 95 will be on Thursday, March 23 at 1100 Eastern Daylight and 1500 UTC. The topic is fighting fraud in the cryptocurrency industry. It's probably something that needs to be discussed, right? There's a lot of it and has been for a long time, and it's kind of frustrating that it's not been handled as it could be. Also, make sure you leave a question or a subject on that post to discuss. And by the Roundtable DAO, you can leave a question that's unrelated to that topic as well. If you want to actually, if you just need to get something answered or have something that's pressing, you can ask anything you want. Also, we have a DAO vote result for World Blockchain Roundtable DAO, and it is the April theme selections. The first week will be Fall of Stablecoins. The second week is Game Show 2.0 or mini games for each reply, which you can suggest your own game that the hosts will be forced to play. So it should be fun. And then Blockchain for Accountants and Taxes is the third week. And then the fourth week is Whales World Order or Blockchain Dystopia. So those all sound like pretty, at least most of them sound like they'd be fun discussions. Anyway, so get in there and check that out. Be ready for those shows. Then we have two other votes that are standing. The first is to appoint John, who's hosted the last two episodes, as the permanent master of ceremonies, and that would be permanent as in we won't rotate every week unless he's not available or feels uncomfortable with a particular topic or anything else, or if we vote him off. Like if he ends up being just not what you guys want, then he can be voted out. So whatever. But that vote is almost passed. It's over 45%. I don't know where it's at. So it's really close. If anybody who has luck can go in and tip it over, then it'll take effect before next Thursday. The other is the new format vote, which is to essentially reduce the program to 1 hour from its hour and a half. And to keep the two, the -5 +5 bonuses for the MC. So he or she will get more lot if they stay within that 10-minute range, plus or minus 5 minutes of the hour now. And after the hour, any of the hosts that are able will go to a Twitter Spaces, which is audio only, wherein anybody could join in. There will be no points, at least at this point, for anything that goes on in that Twitter space. But at least it'll be kind of like the after show, talking about what could have been improved with the show, for one. If there's any topic or any discussion that there wasn't time for, it'll all move to that, and then I can go on as long as anybody wants. So anyway, go vote on that. It's also very near to pass, and if it passes before Thursday, we'll actually institute it this Thursday, even if it passes that morning, right? So anyway, that's all the updates. So we'll have a short AMA right after this.
Now, more than ever, our data is at risk. Our supply chains are in jeopardy. Our systems are broken, and businesses feel powerless. Dragonchain gives you a different way, a safer way, a better way, and you have power over your data. Dragonchain gives you proof in an untrusted world. Build now at dragonchain.com, America's blockchain.
All right, so we refresh. Let's go to the AMA page and refresh. I need to refresh mine where I can read it. So just, I'll be looking off to the side. All right. So we have the first question from Alxons. I don't know if you can see it on there yet. I don't see it on mine updated to scroll down. There we go. Okay. I think there's a slight delay on things this morning. So from Alxons, the question, KuCoin has labeled the Dragon token with, quote, ST, unquote, special treatment. What do you think would be the consequences of no centralized exchange having Dragon? Only Uniswap would be left, and liquidity is zero. It's not a good attraction for potential companies. Edit, not a question about price or exchange in the strict sense, but about the way Dragon is acquired for potential customers. Okay, first of all, I would think, and this is a weird thing. I'm going to step out of my, take off my Dragonchain hat and just consider this for a generic token, not talking about the Dragon, because I don't want to infer anything on the Dragon or any specific token, but imagine you had a token that had relatively low trading volume on a relatively moderately small exchange, right? And I think there are 10 or 15 other exchanges, or at least other pairs on other exchanges for the Dragon. So let's say it's something like that. If there's legitimate trading volume, let's say it's 50,000 a day, let's say it's 1 million a day, whatever that trading volume is, if that exchange just went away, let's say it didn't just remove that token, the exchange just went away, right? As often has happened in the crypto world, that an exchange is taken over by a local government or something else, right, and closed down. So let's say that went away. If that is legitimate trading volume, would it not move to another exchange, which might right now be a very low trading volume exchange that everybody, people are sheep typically, that if all the volume is one place, they will go to that one place, and there might be arbitrage between the exchanges when things get out of whack. But typically the arbitrage is handled by bots. And often I would contend that most low volume tokens are traded primarily by bots. We have seen several exchanges where that's been, it's known, it's publicized. They do all types of attacks on their own customers, like front running and other things that all exchanges do, even traditional exchanges. But there's a lot of bot activity, and it's typically to churn it. And some of the exchanges will threaten tokens with states similar to what you called out, where, hey, the trading volume is not high enough, which means I'm not getting my fee cut from that trading volume. So you need to increase the trading volume, and in the Dragon case, we don't do that. So it's a weird thing, because it's sometimes an empty threat, because they want you to do this thing that is totally outside of what we do. We never solicited or listed the token on KuCoin, for an example. And it's an interesting thing. So if it is real trading volume, I would assume, as most logical people would, that trading volume would move somewhere else, that there are other exchanges where there is some volume, and I would assume the same for any token, that's how that stuff works. And there might be some analysis you could do to find out how much of the trading volume on any given exchange was bots by the amount that didn't move, right? So anyway, worthy question. Hopefully it's a decent answer. Well, one thing should be added also. We've learned, I think everyone has, that customers don't give a lick about the crypto side. They almost every single one we've ever spoken with, if anything, that's detrimental to them, even though we have at least solved the biggest issue that is understandable and logical, which is the accounting side, volatility of tokens, volatility of fees, things like that. The unpredictability of how much it would cost you to run a business system on Ethereum from one day to the next, right? Or any crypto network for that matter. And, we have solved that on our system in a variety of ways, with time, with that patent, and a few other features that eliminate volatility on a month cycle. So anyway, interesting stuff. And I don't think it'll have any effect on adoption, or at least no negative effect. So anyway, that's useful to know, right? Next question is I am. What are the top 3 things we should do as Denizens to grow subscribers? Top 3 things. Content. right? And you might say content, and share the damn content, right? That's probably the biggest thing, is if we could get more, and there are a lot of denizens that put up extensive, well thought out, unique, very original content, both visual and conceptual in writing. And the more of that we get, and the more you reward those people, in fact, like say, frankly, one of the things I should be doing, and I'll commit to doing this, is when I see a long post like that, I'll maybe wait to weigh in, or at least try within the hour to figure out, are there any other similar posts? And, I sometimes do this a little bit informally, but to essentially put all of my energy, all of it into that one post, to really reward them, to make sure that the tags are not spammed, because we do have some people that spam tags, and or try to mark stuff abusive, which obviously isn't, and that has a pretty detrimental effect on their reputation. So in the end, it doesn't matter, but it is an important thing for people who have a lot of energy to help to curate that content. And essentially, the more of that content we get, and there are already incentives obviously to make the content, and that's where the massive incentive is to make the good original, not thin content. Oh, here's a picture, haha, here's an album, haha. That's not that useful. Nobody's going to come to Den for that crap. People are going to come because there's an insightful discussion or article, or other content on Den, and you have an incentive, a great incentive to share it. And then the other side would be boosting. So boosting will help the sharing of that content on Den. So those are the big ones. Now, do you think the financial component of post to earn and evaluate to earn is lacking as an incentive to grow subs? I would say generally yes, and for a couple of reasons. I think one of them is semantics, that whenever we've adopted what the crypto industry has kind of tried to push, which is the what is it? Action to earn format, is usually wrong, because it brings in the people who want to earn to dump. They aren't wanting to earn to build. They're wanting to earn to dump. And that has a massively detrimental effect on the incentives, because essentially, if you get, if you're mining a token that can't, that is valueless, are you going to keep mining it on the hopes that it, does end up with, more and more value? I don't know. That's an action thing. It's a behavior thing. And we do have, and I've spoken about it a couple of times, and we are trying to put together a group to build a system that would affect the demand side, right? Where right now, I think we have, I want to say mastered. It's not an absolute mastery, but I think we have a better handle of the actual meaning, use, and modeling of behavior into a mining system, which is the supply side. So it's, if I do this and I do that, and I don't do this and I don't do that, then I'm going to earn more. And the more I can understand the behaviors that are rewarded and that are penalized, the better I can compete against others to produce. And that works. And we know it works, and we know that it works even for behaviors that we didn't expect. So that's super interesting. The part that is missing is an independent, external, behavior-based approach to liquidity and the economics that are kind of outside the scope of this discussion and what I want to talk about in particular. But the fact that we could map some or all or a superset of those same behaviors that people can earn with to what they can do to actually pay their bills, right? So if you do live in certain countries in the world with high inflation or any other issues, that you can still pay your bills without shooting yourself in the foot by essentially competing against, because right now the people who need to, let's say, go into Axie Infinity or go into some other crypto project and earn in order to pay for their kids' food, their main behavior competition outside of the network is, I have to dump as fast as I can before the other guy dumps, because otherwise it's going to be worth less in the afternoon. It's the same thing that you get with a radically high inflation, where you have to take your paycheck into the grocery store as soon as possible and buy as many food stuffs that won't decay as you can, because your money's going to be worth half as much tomorrow. So anyway, it's the same type of thing, and we think we have a solution for it, and we're working on it. And in the end, it's that bigger picture, because and there are a lot of other economic, if I were an economist, thankfully I'm not, that's what I would be focused on right now, because there's some really crazy, interesting things that are going to develop out of this, to be able to measure the value of behaviors. Right. So anyway, okay, cool stuff. Very good question. Okay, next question is Jacob Wayne. Have y'all had any updates to the Decentraland plot? I think Dave owns it, but I remember it being a temporary placeholder he wants to use as a Den hangout spot. I think it'd be neat to start utilizing it to have a weekly Den hangout where we can chat and gather digitally as a community. And I'd love to screen record those hangouts for my Odyssey YouTube channels to add to the weekly output of Den content. That'd be awesome. I'll also reach out to Distant about how to get there again. It's been a while since I visited. Right, I'd have to find some old link to find out where it is. But imagine this: we could do some generic where people could go hang out there or whatever. Maybe individual layers. I don't know how much space is on that plot, but maybe individual layers could set up little themed areas or something, or maybe they could advertise things that are going on in that layer. Right, that could be fun. That could be cool. We could also potentially see if the roundtable folks would want to maybe hang out in Decentraland while we're on the Twitter space, right? That could be an interesting thing, but maybe that's something. And then the other side of it was similarly the Minecraft server, or if we ended up wanting to do it with Sandbox, where every layer could have a space if they wanted it on the Minecraft server, and it would be handled by the Minecraft layer. There's another piece there too. So any and all of those above, I'd take part. I mean, the Decentraland thing, being as it is there, it might be fun just to try it out, to go there while the Twitter Spaces is on, and maybe while the roundtable is on also later, right? So that could just be something that's going on while we're discussing other things. So anyway, yeah, reach out to Distant about it. If I remember, I'll talk to him. Maybe we talk. Maybe if you could add it to the DENDAO agenda as well, that'd be something worthwhile to talk about there. And it'd be probably a very appropriate place to discuss it. So if you could join, then it'd be awesome. If you can't join, at least post a comment, and I'll try to bring up all these other questions too. So I'd like to see what everybody else thinks about those. Okay, so that is all of the AMA. There is no featured content this week. And as always, I reserve the right to revise and extend my remarks in case I said something stupid I didn't realize I said. And every participant in that list, all three of you, will get locked from the Dragonchain layer, which again, you can help us by deciding how to change this program, Super Happy Dragon Lucky, including, maybe we should get rid of what is going to become very depressing current event segments or anything like that. So anyway, that's it for the updates and for the AMA. And now we go to the merch. So the merch special this month is on Super Happy Dragon Lucky merch. The coupon code is SHDL-2023. It's 10% off for the entire remainder of the month. There's 10 days left, I think. And in closing, make sure you watch us again next Tuesday at 1100 Eastern Daylight, 1500 UTC. Make sure you watch the World Blockchain Roundtable show this Thursday at 1100 Eastern Daylight Time and 1600 UTC. And make sure you follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Den. And make sure you like, comment, and share all the normal things. Thanks so much. Bye.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, raw capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.